Finally, the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer that we've all been waiting for has dropped. It arrived as part of a slightly controversial Disney Plus Investor Day, but nonetheless we did get a brand new trailer for the show. Greetings my young Padawans, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Star Wars Now. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi will pick up with its newest hero 10 years after the events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, which of course saw the Jedi Master take refuge on the desolate planet of Tatooine, both to hide from the Empire's regime and to keep an eye on the infinite Luke Skywalker. Like usual, before we do jump into this video, use the Force and hit that subscribe and like button to never miss a video for myself and the team here at Star Wars Now. As always, if you're talking about Star Wars, then we want to hear about it. So, let's break down the trailer. You can watch it on screen right now or via the video description below. Let's go. Starting off, Kenobi is seen riding the Loi through the Tatooine desert. The Empire were first seen with the Phantom Menace and are a native of Tatooine. Not only does Kenobi simply ride through the desert, but he also goes into one of the towns of Tatooine. Whether this is something like the outskirts of Mos Espa, where the recent Book of Boba Fett was based, considering they might have reused some of the sets between the two shows, or in fact it might be Mos Eisley, it's kind of unknown. There was some nice narration from Ewan McGregor, who reprised his role as Kenobi, saying, "The fight is done, we lost." And you can very much feel the emotion from his voice. This is someone who has lost everyone he loved, from a Jedi he worked alongside, to his Padawan and someone he viewed as a brother in Anakin Skywalker. So it later looks like Kenobi might be doing some manual labor on Tatooine, to pass the time or to make some Imperial credits in order to survive while watching over the young Skywalker boy on the planet. There's even a later scene, around about 49 seconds in the trailer, of Kenobi with a bunch of people on a public speeder, going toward a city on Tatooine. Either it's a bus service on Tatooine, or it could be taking workers to and from an area on the planet to, be a workforce. We also get a really nice scene of Kenobi looking at the Lars homestead, where of course we see Owen and Bru Lars, who have been played by Joel Edgerton and Bonnie Piesse, who previously played both these characters in Attack of the Clones and of course briefly in Revenge of the Sith as well. A young Luke Skywalker is seen hiding from the two and pretend to pilot a spaceship, or it looks like a pod racer perhaps. This gives us a good indication where the series is set. Luke is 10 years old here, so the series takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, and most notably, Order 66, as originally indicated by Lucasfilm when announcing the series. One of the best things in this trailer is when the Lucasfilm logo appears, Duel of the Fates, the music plays when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fight against Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace, plays. It's one of my favourite bits of Star Wars music. Now while Duel of the Fates plays, we see an Inquisitor ship arriving on what looks to be Fortress Inquisitorius on the planet of Nur, the headquarters for Inquisitorius and its Inquisitors. This is really amazing to see, as the last time we actually saw this location was during the game Jedi Fallen Order, so it seems to have been repaired since the damage sustained during our last visit there. Later on in the trailer, we even see an Inquisitor meeting in what looks to be an underwater complex, so it would definitely be Fortress Inquisitorius. Later on we see someone who have been waiting to see in the show, and no, that is not Darth Vader, but the Grand Inquisitor himself. It is great to see the Grand Inquisitor back. However, I have to say, in my first criticism about the trailer, the Grand Inquisitor does not look good. Obviously he shouldn't look 100% like he does in Rebels, but he looks extremely off in the shot we see him in. This was a similar issue that fans had with the appearance of Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett. It just seems like Star Wars TV has some issues translating cartoon characters to look good in live action. Now obviously that is a hard task to begin with, but perhaps if they spent less money on the deepfake Luke Skywalker, they can maybe get this right. Despite his appearance, we do get some great lines from the Grand Inquisitor, as he says, "The key to hunting Jedi is patience, and Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail." This is such a good line. I look forward to seeing him hunt down Kenobi and eventually give up the hunt. Why? I guess we'll find out in the series. Now unfortunately, the Grand Inquisitor is not the return of the good Jason Isaacs, who voiced him beautifully in Star Wars Rebels. Put a line in.
Why? Because you have no one left to die for you.
This time a Grand Inquisitor played by Rupert Friend, who does deliver the Grand Inquisitor lines very well. Behind him we also see the fifth brother, who had also previously appeared in Star Wars Rebels before we met his fate with Darth Maul. On Tatooine we see someone who's been hanged in the street, possibly as a warning from Inquisitors to not hide any information pertinent to them about hunting down a Jedi. We see the Inquisitor, Reva, interrogating a bunch of Tatooine people, including Owen Lars, Luke's uncle. Even though Lars doesn't agree with Kenobi and doesn't want Luke following in his father's footsteps, I can still see him a man of integrity and not give up on the information about Kenobi, who he knows is hiding on Tatooine. Reva was later seen on the skylines of a planet known as Dry, a very urban, seedy place. I'm very much looking forward to seeing this place on screen. We've had a lot of Tatooine, and the Ringworld and the Book of Boba Fett was really cool, so I'm looking forward to it. But apparently one of the neon signs on the rooftop spells out milk. I do suppose there's a market for Bantha milk in the Star Wars universe, and that from The Last Jedi, but it's kind of weird. Bit of a little thing for the people to be able to translate their eyes, so maybe it's like an Easter egg in a sense. The Inquisitor shuttle, which we previously did see some concept art on, arrives on Tatooine, presumably to carry Reva there to follow the hint of the Jedi. There's also an Imperial officer we see who's played by Indira Varma, who played Illyria Sand in Game of Thrones. Whether it should be a major character, as an Imperial officer who works their rules, tied to working with Inquisitors who disregard a lot to get the job done, it remains to be seen. The other Inquisitor, Ondeo, who is not Reaver, who is looking around the marketplace, seems to be a Tefolian like the Jedi Adi Gallia, or some species that has tendrils on the back of their heads. But we see that Kenobi has ventured into this other world, leaving the sandy place of Tatooine behind, but more on that just in a minute. As with new stars, we see new droids, and we get quite a beefy looking droid in this trailer who gives off K2SO vibes to him. Who this droid may be, or may he belong to, it's kind of unknown, but it would be interesting to see Kenobi meet up with him perhaps. But we know his track record of droids, so it does mean that this guy is probably going to die. The Grand Inquisitor seems to follow everyone else to Deo, getting a spinning lightsaber out, which we love he's kept his back for the Inquisitors, as he threatens a man saying, "Where is he?" presumably so we know Kenobi is around and hunting after him. It seems the whole Inquisitorius is here on Deo, as we see the 5th brother escorting a squadron of stormtroopers. I will say the 5th brother doesn't look too bad from this shot we get. His face is a little more squished and less intimidating than we see in Rebels, but it is doable. This urban planet does look impressive in this shot, making good use of what is probably the volume, the AR wall which Disney utilised to bring their worlds to life, giving a level of verticality we haven't really seen in previous uses of The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. Escape pods seem to be firing through space, which is very interesting, especially if there are a pair of them, unless a missiles or something fire from a ship like the Inquisitor ship. If they are escape pods, maybe they're fired from a transport Kenobi was on, and perhaps uses Force ability to fake life signs to be on the other pod. It could definitely be done, and perhaps try into a new Force projection ability that Luke Skywalker uses in The Last Jedi. First, he's only to project your life signs from one place to another, and then Luke develops it to be able to project his entire self. Owen Lars seems to be having a really good day on Tatooine market, as he probably stands up to the Inquisitor Reaver and proceeds to run. How he's saved, maybe Kenobi saves him and flees after defeating Reaver, it's sort of unknown. Reaver then knows he's on a ship to Deo and then continue the hunt there, with Kenobi leaving Tatooine to lure the Inquisitor away from Luke Skywalker, therefore protecting him. There is a nice little scene at what looks to be an Inquisitor, from a black shoulder pads and gloved hand, placing the hand over a Jedi's scrawled symbol onto the wall. Many of the Inquisitors used to be former Jedi who lost their way, and were turned to the dark side and employed as Inquisitors. So they would have a connection to the Jedi Order, and therefore their symbol. Perhaps we see a fight in our main Inquisitor Reaver between the light and the dark. It's a theme that a lot of Inquisitors have, such as the Second Sister or Trilla Soldari, who in the end had made peace with themselves. Though, what is probably the preceding scene from the lighting of wall colours, Reaver comes across a man with a gun, maybe someone trying to rob her after touching the Jedi symbol. She reaffirms her loyalty to the Inquisitorius and kills him outright. Even though in the next scene we do see it's probably Kenobi firing a blast on top of a rooftop on Deo against some other blasting wielding foes. We do know how Kenobi views blasters, don't we? Now obviously he can't pull out his Jedi lightsaber, an elegant weapon for a more civilized age, and so I'd kind of give him up as a Jedi and probably alert everybody in the next sector to him. Now to end off the trailer, we get the breathing of Darth Vader, as eerie and ominous as ever. I am hesitant about the appearance of Darth Vader in this series. Due to A New Hope, it seems like they were the first time they met since Revenge of the Sith. But it can work with the proper writing, so we'll have to see how it goes. However, it is good to see Hayden Christensen back in the role as Darth Vader, and hopefully Anakin Skywalker through the use of flashbacks. It seemingly has a large amount of fan support as well, which is really sweet and nice to see, considering how his last performance went down. Okay, so not only do we get a trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi, but also Entertainment Weekly released a bunch of pictures and comments from creatives and cast behind the Kenobi series. So let's take a look at what was shown on screen and what about the Kenobi show. Ewan McGregor says, "We find Obi-Wan at the beginning of our story rather broken and faithless and beaten, somewhat given up, which definitely makes sense. At this stage in his life, Kenobi has gone from a courageous knight of the Republic to a hermit who is looking after a kid he doesn't even really know. He lost his brothers in the Jedi, as was someone he viewed as an actual brother in Anakin Skywalker. As we saw in the trailer, we're introduced to a new Inquisitor known as Reaver, played by Moses Ingram. Ingram says they share a common dark side goal, with a talking about the villainous trio of Reaver, the Grand Inquisitor, and Darth Vader. We knew that Darth Vader and the Grand Inquisitor were going to appear in the show, but it is amazing to hear more about it. For those who might not know, the Grand Inquisitor was the head of Inquisitorius, a group of Force senators that went around killing Jedi in hiding but survived Order 66. Jason Isaacs previously played the Grand Inquisitor in the animated series of Star Wars Rebels, where, spoilers, he died after fighting against the Jedi in hiding, Caleb Dume, known as Kanan Jarrus. So will we be meeting the Grand Inquisitor seemingly at the height of his work in hunting down Jedi? Hopefully Jason Isaacs surprised as well as the Grand Inquisitor one day, as his voice work was amazing for the Grand Inquisitor. Now, it was previously announced that Joel Edgerton and Bonnie Pieces as Owen Lars and Brie Lars. We get a picture of Owen Lars staring off against the Inquisitor Reaver. They probably heard there was a Jedi in hiding on Tatooine and was sent to investigate. But it's very courageous of Owen to actually stare down an Inquisitor who kills people that get in their way regularly. There's also a picture of Kenobi off a planet on Tatooine, which in a lot of fans were skeptical of Kenobi leaving Tatooine and in part looking over Luke Skywalker. But I guess now knowing that Tatooine has pretty good public transport system between planets, seen in the book of Boba Fett, maybe it's just like getting a bus. This planet we find Kenobi on is called Deo, as we mentioned earlier. It's described as having a sort of Hong Kong feeling to it, set by the writer of Kenobi, Joby Harold. It's got graffiti-ridden nightlife and it's kind of edgy. I like the sound of it already. It's got a different lane and a different feeling. I, for one, am looking forward to new planets. Considering a lot of TV shows have been centered around Tatooine, so even though Kenobi is a story set on Tatooine, it'd be nice to get away from the actual sandy planet once in a while. Alright, Exalted Ones, that's it myself, Captain Jack here on Star Wars Now. But what did you think about this trailer? Let us know in the comments below, because if you're talking about Star Wars, then we want to hear about it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep us updated with the latest Star Wars news, lore, and more. You can follow us on social media as well. Make sure to let us know what you think in the video comment section below. That's it myself today on Star Wars Now. I've been Captain Jack, and I'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.